Okay, and we're live. Welcome to Live at Epiphan. It's Thursday afternoon. We're here in the Epiphan studio, and we've got a great episode for you today. So, Geraldine, why don't you tell us what we're talking about?
Sure. We're going to be talking about Vimeo Live and the differences between Vimeo Live and YouTube. Great topic.
I think so, and we've touched on Vimeo Live a little bit before, but we're going to get into it a little more and draw some comparisons with YouTube. I mean, everyone's super familiar with YouTube. So is there a compelling case to switch over to Vimeo, or is there some reasons why you might do that? We'll get into it in a moment. But before we get to that, why don't we introduce you to our audience, because this is your first time on the Live at Epiphan show. So, Geraldine, it's great to have you here.
Hey, thanks, Dan. I'm a technical writer here, and I do some of the writing in the blogs, and I think we'll have one of the blogs that will be, focuses on this topic, and that's one that I did. So yeah, that's...
A little bit of the inspiration for today's show, actually, was to go into a bit more depth on your blog topic from last week. So
it was huge. There's so much, in there, and Vimeo keeps evolving, so, we're going to be watching them.
But before we get into the main topic today, there is some news we want to cover just very quickly. So the first item that we wanted to mention is NAB. NAB is happening April 7th to the 12th, coming up very soon. We're all super excited here because Epiphan will, of course, have a booth at NAB this year. If you are going to be at NAB, come find us. We're at booth C11143, and we'd be happy to chat with you, talk shop, talk about live streaming, show you all of our products, and just great to meet everyone at NAB. Also, as we were just mentioning, we wanted to promote the blog a little bit. The blog's been pretty active the last few days. We've got some really cool blog topics, actually. The one that I was looking at today that I thought was really cool was the machine learning topic, 11 machine learning applications for video production. So this is sort of a future-looking topic, but there's a lot of really interesting ideas in here. Also, there's some cool infographics that have been created recently. We've got a topic on Pearl Mini, an early sort of sneak peek on some of the use cases and applications for Pearl Mini. So if you haven't, make sure to check out the blog. It's epiphan.com/blog. Of course, this is a live show. We're here monitoring chat. We want to chat with you guys. So even just say hello, put your name in chat. We'll give you a quick shout out on the show. And I see Peter Serrato is asking about Pearl Mini already. And yes, we will have some information, Peter, at NAB. So if you're there, make sure to stop by the booth and we'll be happy to chat with you. But why don't we go ahead and dive into this topic, Vimeo Live. Now, I know we talked about Vimeo Live back when it launched in October of last year, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it launched in September, and that's when the official launch of Vimeo Live went out, and it's evolved since then. So lots of changes.
Yeah. Well, my understanding is that Vimeo sort of acquired the company Livestream, which gave them a huge jump start. I mean, they're kind of playing catch up at first because you already had the major live streaming platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. They had all sort of matured a little bit into live streaming, whereas Vimeo is a new player on the scene. But Vimeo's been around for quite a while, hasn't it?
Totally, yeah. They're the world's largest ad-free open platform, I should say open video platform out there. And making this move into live streaming was just plain smart. The time was right. You have YouTube making some rather unpopular changes to their monetizations, and you have Twitch also getting a little more into the IFT, the in real life
IRL.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they were smart to jump in when they did.
Very interesting. So we wanted to sort of, for the purpose of today's episode, I don't think we're going to really show how to live stream with Vimeo. If that's what you're looking for, go check out our episode. It's called Vimeo Live Setup and Tour. You'll find that on our YouTube channel. It streamed in October. Lots of sort of an in-depth behind-the-scenes look at the platform itself. But for the purpose of today's show, we really just wanted to sort of draw some comparisons between YouTube and Vimeo to highlight some of the differences. So, Geraldine, you went in depth on this in the blog post that you made. Maybe you can kind of sort of highlight some of the feature comparisons. So, what is Vimeo Live? What makes it different than YouTube?
Well, the biggest difference, I think, for Vimeo Live is it's not targeted the same way as YouTube is. Vimeo Live is really, I have a quote here. The goal is to enable content creators to achieve greater audience engagement. They're really looking for their own existing audience to give them something more that they want, because live streaming is becoming more and more popular. So it just totally made sense for Vimeo Live to start offering this to, their very loyal base of audience, of users, I should say.
I've been a fan of Vimeo Live for a long time, well, of Vimeo for a long time. And the reason I liked it is because compared to YouTube, I had some more control over certain things of how my content is displayed. Of course, an ad-free experience is nice when you're doing professional work. So is that the case with Vimeo Live as well?
Yeah, Vimeo Live is also ad-free, and they've really stuck to their guns there, and that's probably the biggest difference that you'll see between YouTube and Facebook. I mean, Vimeo Live. There are lots and lots of differences, though. I think as a business case, Vimeo Live has a lot of tools that you're really going to like if you're doing things, you maybe embedding videos, you have more creative content, you have more control over what you can do and how you do it, better privacy controls. That's a big one lately, because we all know what happened with Facebook. And but then again, the cost, it's not free. I think that's
yeah, there is some difference there. So why don't we sort of pick apart some of these features and compare them head to head. So first, are there, well, just say hello to everyone in chat. We've got Nikki here. She's asking if we're using Webcaster X2. Actually, for this show, we are using Pearl 2, which is Epiphan's flagship switching, streaming, and recording product. So whereas with Webcaster, it's a single encode. It's one camera, one HDMI source. With something like Pearl 2, you can switch between multiple cameras, multiple sources, audio inputs. You can stream in 4K. So this is like a Webcaster X2 on steroids, I think. Yeah, really powerful steroids.
Oh yeah. The Pearl 2 is just
it's the beast.
Awesome
We'll
device.
also just quickly say hello to Thomas Wolf. PTZ Optics is here. Hey, great to see you guys. Paolo Crova, hello to you as well. So yeah, let's pick apart some of these features. So, I mean, first feature that you sort of discussed was, well, you mentioned cost. So, I mean, YouTube is free. Vimeo Live, I'm guessing it's not free.
Vimeo Live has a cost, absolutely. Now, since I wrote the blog, they've already changed the cost structure.
Okay.
Believe it or not. Now they have something called Vimeo Premium, and it's $95 a month or $1,140 per annum. But it has all these awesome features that anyone who is familiar already with Vimeo, it's the Vimeo Business Plan, plus live streaming, plus a little bit of extra, you get 7 terabytes of storage compared to the 5 terabytes of storage.
Yeah.
And, it's really comparable, though, and it has a lot of features for, really for business applications. Even though Vimeo Live does not have the ads. It doesn't have what we all are used to with YouTube, and those ads pop up again and again and again, those pre-roll ads.
And that's what keeps YouTube free, right, is the ad economy. Whereas with Vimeo, this is really catered more towards businesses, professionals, I take it, rather than, you know, the free streaming of everyone, right?
But then Vimeo is going to offer you these other features like subscription with Vimeo OTT. And, another feature that they have is video on demand, where, content creators can rent or sell their creative content using these other features. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So Vimeo on you mentioned two features of the Vimeo Live platform, Vimeo on demand and Vimeo OTT.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with Vimeo on demand? What is Vimeo on demand?
Well, Vimeo on demand is it's something actually that with Vimeo, the business plan, that you can set up a way to rent or sell your content online. Because there's no ads for generating revenue, they have other means for monetization. So this is their answer, or one of their answers to help you monetize.
That's really cool. I mean, I've got a little bit of it here. I think you can probably show this, Lisa, but there's films here. So this is like, you know, on-demand films. There's documentaries, you know, dramatic films, but you could also create on-demand content that could be webinars or training videos or, you know, behind the scenes, maybe expert discussion panel or something of that nature.
There's a great business case for that too, if you think about it. You know, you could have some free seminars, but then have master classes and charge for those. You know, build up your audience, and then, you know, have another package that that somebody could purchase. And the other way is with the Vimeo OTT is a subscription.
Okay.
So, you know, if you were into training or something like that, you could actually have a subscription service where people can just pay a fee every month, and they get to
access
consume,
all of your content.
Yeah, whenever they want.
That's really cool. I've got Vimeo OTT up here, so we can take a quick look. But the thing that I thought was neat with this Vimeo OTT is you can create like a branded app. So, for instance, someone could go onto their iOS or Android app store and purchase your app. It doesn't look like Vimeo. It's made to look as though it's branded with your company or your content. And then you have sort of like a content management system for all of your content and a way to monetize that content stream directly to viewers.
It's definitely more sophisticated, and I love the fact that you mentioned that it's, you know, a customizable player, because in YouTube, sure, you can embed it. You know, there are a lot of similarities between what you can do in YouTube and what you can do in Vimeo Live, and certainly you can embed your videos. Anyone can do that, but you have the logo, you have the YouTube logo in the corner. There are certain things that you can't do. Whereas Vimeo Live takes it up a notch. You can customize it. You can control what domains can open it. There's a lot more privacy control, so password control. So there's a lot more happening there from the Vimeo Live side.
Yeah, that's really nice, because if you're a business that wants to, you know, put your content behind a paywall, what good is a paywall if anyone can steal your embed code and put your content on their website?
Hey,
right?
Even if you're just, you know, a creative, you know, a content creator, and you're doing creative works, I mean, if you want to protect that work a little more, then, you know, there are, you know, easy tools to do that, to help you do that better.
And we have some more people in live chat here. We'll just quickly say hello to McCork. He's watching from Ireland. Top of the morning to you. Actually, I guess it'd be probably evening there.
It's probably late.
Good afternoon to Paul Chenier. Paul's saying that he thinks Vimeo Live is much too expensive. What's your feeling on that, Geraldine?
You know, it is. Again, you know, this is something that's evolving. They first came out with a different set of plans. I think they're still kind of trying to find that sweet spot and you know, what they're offering. I think I wrote down here, it used to be a pro plan, and then a business live plan, and then they had a custom plan, and then they've sort of... So you know, keep watching. I'm going to keep watching them and see how that rolls out. You just don't know where it's going to shake out.
There is a free trial that you can sort of use it
Good
for.
point.
I don't think it gives you much time to on the free trial, but you can try it out. I almost think that, you know, at the cost of $75, what is it, $75? $95 a month.
Yeah.
That is, I think, for many people, it's going to be a barrier. But if you're doing professional work, if you are doing weekly webinars, if you're doing some kind of content that you want to put behind a paywall for your business, $95, I think, for many people may not be too expensive if you want to protect your content, if you want to control who can access your content, and if you need to make sure that your content is played in an ad-free environment. You wouldn't want to be doing a professional stream for your business and then have your competitors advertising over top of your content, right? So,
and you have no control over that with YouTube.
So if that's what you're looking for, is a controlled environment for professional work, maybe Vimeo Live does make sense compared to many other options. So why don't we dig into a little bit more some of the other feature comparison. Now, I know one feature that Vimeo Live recently added was something to do with Simulcast. Is that what they call it?
That's an awesome feature. And this is where I think, you know, the smart thing that they did with acquiring Livestream is they really got a jump start on this, you know, on this getting into this area, because, you know, they've only been here in the live streaming area since September, and they're already able to you know, offer this pretty sophisticated feature. So simulcasting, basically you stream your RTMP stream to Vimeo, and then from there you can select up to 3 different platforms that can accept an RTMP stream, and you know, that's it. YouTube can't do that.
That's pretty cool. So you could use Vimeo much like you would use something like a Restream or a Switchboard website, where you want a single place to send your full quality encode, and then split that out to some different destinations. Maybe you don't even publicly publish your Vimeo content. Maybe that's just used for content management and on demand, and then you could stream out to some other destinations when you're live, but then perhaps close those off after the stream ends. That could be a way to sort of tease your content to live viewers, but then maintain that content for on demand under the Vimeo roof.
Right.
So lots of different ways I can imagine that people would want to use something like that. Now I see Paul is asking us a quick question about Webcaster X2. Wi-Fi acceptance to condition page. Yes, this is an issue that we're aware of, Paul. I know that a few people have run into this when they're trying to log on to like hotel Wi-Fi, hotspot, coffee shops, this kind of thing.
Gated networks, yeah.
Right now, we don't have a workaround for that, but it is an issue that we're aware of. So stay tuned, and you know, check in with our forum, and we might have some more information about that in the near future. I think there was a forum post about that where someone had an interesting workaround by using a laptop to create a hotspot. So check the forum; you might find some help there. Devin was asking about Vimeo projects. He's at university, different programs and classes. They like to give them each control of their own web page, but under the same account. Would that work? Well, I know with Vimeo there is. You can add team members to a Vimeo account.
That's right.
Do you know how many team members you can add?
You know what? I don't think I wrote down the specific.
I think it's less 10. I think it's 10 or less than 10.
Yeah, I think it's 10 because it's the same as the business plan. So the pro plan, I think you can have 3.
Okay.
But the business and consequently, you know, everything in business you get in Vimeo Live.
Yeah.
So I believe it's 10.
Now, what I would recommend actually is to contact Vimeo, because they do create custom plans for people.
That's
so
true.
if you're in a university environment, they might be able to create a customized package that's specifically fit to your needs. So I would really recommend contacting them, because I know they do some customization outside of their typical plans. So there might be an option that works for you there. Scott is saying hello as well. Great to see you, Scott. And Paul, yeah, check up with us on the forum, Paul, and we'll be able to put some more information there. So another thing I wanted to ask you about, Geraldine, is related to doing things like being able to, let's say you did a stream, but something maybe went wrong partway through your stream.
Okay.
And you need to fix that. Now on YouTube, when we finish this stream with this show, we do have the option to sort of trim a little bit off the beginning or a little bit off the end. There used to be a YouTube video editor, which does not exist anymore. So there's no way for us to, for instance, trim out a piece of the middle on YouTube, unfortunately. What kind of options are there with Vimeo in terms of, you know, fixing mistakes that happened when you were live?
Yeah, that's an awesome question, because I think this is, for me anyways, this is one of the biggest bonuses that you know, Vimeo offers, and it's a great feature, is that you can upload new versions of your content, and keep the same URL, which of course with YouTube, it's a source of frustration for me. It's, you know, you can't upload a new video. You get a new URL and the old one is gone. So if you're embedding it anywhere, if you're, you know,
or
doing
even
any kind of...
If you let the world know that, hey, check out this stream, it goes live, everyone's there, but then afterwards you want to fix something.
Yeah.
All of those, all the places where you linked to that video are now obsolete because you can't retain the URL while uploading a new video on YouTube. Yeah,
it's so frustrating. And actually one of the recommendations, because the Vimeo Vimeo right now anyways, they only have 1080p live streaming. So I know YouTube has this
YouTube you can
wide
stream,
variety.
and we have streamed 4K to YouTube.
Yeah. There's so many different options for streaming, and you know Vimeo is really kind of, I mean, they're new. Give them some time, but you know 1080p. But you can also, if you record your stream, you can record it in 4K. You can edit it. You can do whatever you have to, and then upload that and replace the actual live, because it works the same way as it does with YouTube. It converts and transcodes your live stream into something that goes into your library.
See, that's a great option, is being able to replace that after the fact.
Yep.
Maybe there's a little mistake you made in the middle of your stream. Maybe you gave the wrong link, or maybe you gave the wrong email address or something like that. On YouTube, if you do that, you're kind of out of luck. You're going to have to either do your stream again or just delete the video or put a comment underneath the video, hope people see it.
Right.
Whereas on Vimeo, you could take that into Premiere, fix it up in post, re-upload it, and nobody knows the difference.
Yeah, and that's a good point. You do have to use your own editor. Vimeo Live doesn't have an editor in, a native one that you can use, but I think most people who are streaming in, using Vimeo Live are pretty savvy, and it's a different audience than your typical YouTube.
We do want to say quickly hello to everyone who's watching on Facebook as well. So Lee Davies is there. He's asking about where do we get. Just go to vimeo.com/live, I believe.
I think so.
Luis is saying hello from Portugal. Hello, Luis. How's Portugal? It's probably quite nice over there. Daniel Wright. So the only plan that gives live streaming is the $75 a month plan. That's correct. Right now there's one live streaming plan, and it essentially is the same as the Vimeo business plan, but with live added as an additional feature.
That's right.
And I think it's 90 here in
95.
Canada. It's 95. Is it 95?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe U.S. It'll come up differently, but Canadian.
I'm seeing here $75 per month Vimeo Premium. So.
Then maybe they just changed it.
Yeah, maybe it is 75.
Yesterday it was 95.
Yeah. So it seems like they're trying to find their
mojo.
Their sweet spot there, because this has changed even just in the last couple of weeks. They've been refining this plan, but for $75 a month, you get unlimited live streaming, so no limit on the amount of hours. The only limit is the 7 terabytes per month.
Well, that's not quite true. There is a limit per event. It's a 12-hour limit. So you can live stream for 12 hours, and that's the maximum for one event.
Now, are there any ways that YouTube still holds the edge over Vimeo? I mean, we talked about Vimeo having some powerful sort of business features, embedding features. Is there anything that YouTube has maybe that Vimeo doesn't? I know there's some new features with Super Chat on YouTube.
Yeah, it's got cool little features. There's Super Chat that came out not that long ago, where live captioning. I think they're going to be coming out with that pretty soon, which is kind of cool. And something else I think we got to keep our eye on to watch for is control of IFTTT devices. Now, I have to throw this in though. You have to be, for a lot of these, the monetization ones like the Super Chat and being able to turn on a device that's controlled by IFTTT, you got to be a partner.
Yeah.
You got to meet those requirements, and that's not easy anymore.
Yeah, there's certainly a barrier to entry to be able to access the super chat features and monetization on YouTube. You need to have 1,000 subscribers, and you need to have watch time. What is it? Over 7,000.
Yeah, where'd I put that?
You have to have some amount of pretty decent amount of watch time before you can access those partner features. Now, Chris is on YouTube. Chris Rhodes. Hey, Chris. He's asking, what features does Vimeo have for making money through live streaming? So we were actually just talking about that. Vimeo does offer Vimeo On Demand, which is, you can sell individual videos, even videos that you've streamed on demand after the fact. One of the more interesting monetization options that I'm seeing here for Vimeo is known as Vimeo OTT.
Yep.
And actually I've got, I think I've got it here.
Just scroll down a little bit.
Okay, give me 1 second to find it. So here's this kind of shows some of the monetization options for Vimeo Business. Vimeo OTT, it's like a content management system where you would create your own branded channel of content, which is a subscription service. So your audience or your viewers would pay for a subscription to get access to all of your content as you release your content perhaps on a monthly basis. And some of the cool things you can do with that is you can have a branded app. So you could create your own app that is branded with your business. It does not appear like a Vimeo app. It appears as your business, and people could download that in the iOS store or in the Google Play Store right onto their phone and pay a monthly fee to access your content. So that's a really interesting way, kind of like Twitch almost with their subscription program for creators. Vimeo does have sort of a subscription feature. It looks like there's some different functionalities there, but you'd have to get in touch with Vimeo to learn a little bit more about that.
Well, it's a completely different model, and it's like night and day. I think where Vimeo is headed more towards is here, engaging audiences so that creators can sell content. And so it's a really different concept here. We're talking about a very creative platform. We got a lot of content, creative content, on Vimeo Live, and it's how do I, as an artist, how do I, as a business, sell, my creative content. And I think, the model is really kind of geared towards creators. That's why customizing the player is listed as one of the ways that, it's a bonus if you are monetizing your content. You can really customize it for your brand, and the integration tools. They have tools that will integrate with MailChimp, if you're familiar with that, and other tools that are really
like Google Analytics. I think it'll integrate with as well.
Well, yeah, you do get your analytics, but it's got a email capture tool, which is just if you're into marketing and you're,
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So actually, and that's what Paolo Crova from Italy, hey Paolo, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. He's asking how would he convince his customers to pay for money to stream their professional webinars on Vimeo Live versus just doing it on YouTube Live. Here's what I would say, Paolo. YouTube is obviously free is great. But free comes with some caveats.
And free is never free.
Yeah. Someone's paying for it, and in the case of YouTube, there's ads running on YouTube. So if your customers are, for instance, I don't know, maybe your customers are doing e-learning webinars, you wouldn't want to have their content presented and then have their competitors advertising on the same website.
Lynda.com ad pops up.
Yeah, you wouldn't want like a Lynda.com ad popping up around your customers' content. You also might not want them finding your competitors through the YouTube interface, right? On YouTube, there's suggestions, there's recommendations.
Exactly.
It's going to recommend other content to that audience that is related. So inevitably, they may be once they finish your stream, they might go directly to your competitors, which is maybe not what you want. So I'd say like the biggest advantage of Vimeo is that it's a more controlled environment. Yeah. You control it. You can create the player that you want for your brand. You can embed it behind a paywall. And how Geraldine just mentioned as well, there's email capture. So you can actually set it up where in order to watch the stream, it requires that a viewer given their name and email address. And then afterwards, you can take those emails and maybe you add them to a drip marketing campaign or something of that nature.
Yeah. And you also got to, remember, from a business perspective, if you are, say, doing seminars or something like that, you get to keep the URL. So if you, have to in a month's time or whatever, update a seminar, you can keep the same URL. You get a lot more choices to manage your content. I think it's a lot more sophisticated. YouTube, once you've changed the URL, you've lost all of the statistics for that topic. If you've had to upload a new video, what do you do with the old ones when they keep stacking up?
Yeah.
You got, how many times have you done the same seminar with a, slightly, updated content, but what are you going to do with the old ones in YouTube? Delete them?
That's a good point. Yeah, YouTube is really, in some ways, it's kind of the unwashed masses of. There's such a large audience that it's not refined. You might get trolls on there. You might get, people that maybe you want to, increase the barrier to entry a little bit on your content and go for that more sophisticated audience. If you're in a professional environment doing work for business, it might make a lot more sense to be on Vimeo. Paul's asking, is it true that the cost of Vimeo Live is $75 a month, but you have to pay an entire year? It does look like that. It's billed annually. Maybe they would make an exception for that if you contact them. I can't say for sure. But yes, that does make the barrier a little more difficult. But if you're doing professional work, $1,200, maybe it's not so hard to absorb into your budget for your projects. When you figure the cost of a decent camera is in the thousands of dollars, a year of live streaming, broadcasting under your own brand, under your own banner, without any other advertising. It's like having access to your own television broadcast channel. So when you think of it that way, maybe it isn't so difficult to absorb.
And the one thing I'm not sure of is it for the custom plans, who knows what kind of deals you can work out.
Yeah.
Just saying. Not sure, but hey, I'd investigate it.
Now, one other thing that I wanted to ask you about, Geraldine, and I think you touched on this a bit in your blog post, and that was customer support. So I think there might be some differences there. Maybe you could tell us a bit about them.
Yeah, no. I love Vimeo's customer support. It's live support. They keep an email. I think they guarantee within 2 hours to get back to you by email. And if you are live streaming, there is actual support while you're live streaming and while you're setting up for your live stream. So they do offer that, which is, just worth so much. If you have enough stress that you're on site somewhere and you're setting up your stream, you really, really, appreciate having somebody on the other side of the phone to help you walk through any of those unforeseen issues that always seem to pop up.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. If you're in an environment where failure is not an option, and you're an hour from your stream and you're having some kind of problem, it's nice to have someone that will answer a phone call, right? That can walk you through whatever issue you may be happening.
Now it's live chat.
Yeah.
So it's a chat service, but they do say that if there's nobody available, and I think that there's some times that they are open.
I think business, regular business, Monday to Friday type thing.
Something like that. But if there isn't a live, someone available live, it will go down to the next tier, which is the email. So somebody will get to it and be responding. So.
Now, Daniel Wright is on Facebook. Hey, Daniel. He's saying that they're a small, medium-sized church that doesn't have the budget to afford the Vimeo kind of pricing, and they need a reasonable service for a couple hours a week that they stream. What do you think? What would be the answer for the small, medium church without much budget?
Go free.
Yeah, I think maybe free is the best option. Daniel, let us know, do you stream to your Facebook page? Does your church have a Facebook page? That might be a good way to do it if you do have a Facebook page already. You know, your congregation can easily join the page and get notified every time you go live. So that might be a good solution.
Or I guess, you know, investigate some of the other CDNs out there. I know that my church happens to use some other service. I don't know what it is, and so I can't. But there are other services out there that that will be more that could offer you some of the privacy, you know, some of the things that you might want to have that YouTube doesn't offer at a much more reasonable cost.
Yeah, I think probably for many people, free is always the best option, but you know, when there is a budget behind the work that you're doing, that's when you look to a Vimeo or a professional service.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered a lot of territory. Martin Lopez is saying hello. He's saying, can I see live events from the Vimeo Live website? So I would say for Vimeo Live, if someone is subscribed to your Vimeo channel, they'll be able to see it when you're live. In terms of actually having audience members search for and find live streams using the Vimeo platform, I wouldn't expect that to be very common. Whenever I visit the Vimeo page, I see their staff picks, which are all typically, you know, on-demand type content, short films, documentary content, artistic content, animation. They really don't seem to be promoting streams that are live front and center.
Well, I have something though that is interesting. I mean, they do have SEO. You know, they let you do put tags, and you know, they say that they rank well. You know, so I think they're working on that, though. I don't know. YouTube always seems to rank the highest if you're looking at like a Google search. But on the Vimeo library itself, they do have the tagging, and they do tell us that they're effective.
They also are. Vimeo is one of the video websites that does use, you know, like a Google search indexing, right? So if people are searching for things on Google, it is possible that your Vimeo content will surface as a video within a Google search. So that is good. But I would say if you're trying to grow an audience, if you're trying to find new subscribers, encourage new people to find your content when it's live, YouTube is probably a better platform for that than Vimeo. Vimeo is much more curated. People who know what they're looking for will find you, but I wouldn't expect to be as strong of a platform as YouTube is for growing an audience.
Hey, but you can simulcast from Vimeo Live.
Hey, there you go.
So there you go. You know, so it kind of, you know, it gives you that option to keep the populist route and have your YouTube channel getting the live stream, and also your Vimeo Live.
So yeah, I think we've covered most of it today. If you do have any more questions, obviously put them in chat or go to the Epiphan forum, epiphan.com/forum. We're there, and we'd be happy to answer any other questions you may have. But I think we're probably going to wrap it up for this week. For all of you who are having a long weekend, enjoy your Friday tomorrow.
Happy Easter.
We will be back here on the show next week. We haven't unveiled what our topic will be yet, but we will be talking more about certainly NAB, which is coming up soon. I'll quickly answer. Paul is asking, will Webcaster X2 provide Vimeo Live someday? Maybe. I can't say for sure. We're always you know, getting feature requests for Webcaster X2. There will continue to be updates for Webcaster X2, but I can't say for sure whether we will support Vimeo. It really depends on if enough people want it. I think maybe we would, but can't say for sure. Jesse, can you embed Vimeo streams in a website?
Absolutely.
Yes, Jesse, and actually this is, and we were talking about this a little earlier, this is one of the most powerful features about Vimeo Live, is its embedding features. You can customize your player with your colors. You can control where your video can be embedded. you can put it behind an email capture response. So you can force people to enter a password to watch your embedded content. So if you want to put your content behind a paywall, Vimeo is by far a much stronger embedding option than YouTube is.
Definitely.
Paul, thank you very much. You have a safe weekend. Enjoy with friends and family. Emma Grav, excited for Pearl Mini. So are we.
Yes.
We're very excited for Pearl Mini as well. I know a lot of people want to get more information, want to get their hands on it. NAB, we're going to have a lot more information coming out about Pearl Mini. So if you do have the chance to visit us at NAB, but if not, just check out this YouTube channel because we're going to be uploading a whole bunch of videos around NAB time, and there will be some more info on Pearl Mini certainly.
And check out that latest blog that got posted today. It's all about Pearl Mini.
And Bresh Digital TV, FYI, you guys look great in Nashville. Keep it up. Nashville is actually one of my favorite cities in North America. I've been there a couple times, Nash Vegas, I guess, as some call it. And the Predators are having a great year, so you guys might be celebrating a Stanley Cup soon enough. McCork, he did some in school 2 weeks ago. They wanted a concert streamed to all classrooms. We opened a secret Facebook group, and all the classroom teachers were invited into the group. It worked very well. That's awesome. Great to hear that. McCork, I would definitely recommend checking out Pearl 2 if you haven't already. For university, classroom, it's very powerful, but also Pearl Mini is designed to be the world's best lecture capture device. So
Absolutely.
If you need to get your content out of the classroom to where it needs to be, definitely you're going to want to check out Pearl Mini. And if you look on the blog, there's actually a recent blog post, I think from today, talking about Pearl Mini. So make sure that you go and check out the blog if you haven't already. But I think we're going to have to cut it off there. It was great. Thanks for everyone for interacting in chat today. It was great having you all here. And until next week, this is Live at Epiphan signing off.
Bye for now.
So long.